anniversary of 9/11. I'm just wondering where you were that day and what this day means to you.
Yeah. Well, I was driving from Tuscaloosa. I was out of coaching in '01. I'd been working at AIG Baker for 6 months. I was into my 6th month. I'd started April 2nd, and so it was about an hour and 15-20 minute drive every day from Tuscaloosa to 280, where I was kind of near my hometown, to be honest with you, not too far. But I was on 459, and I just remember, I don't know, I was listening to one of the radio stations, local radio stations, listening to Kwok and Kelly. So I don't know, I was listening to somebody talking football, talking something, and so I used to use that time, that hour and something. I used to use that time. That was prayer time, quiet time, and then I just kind of catch up what was going on, listening to sports world. And I wasn't coaching. It was my first time to not be coaching. I'd think about what I had to do that day at work or whatever, but I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. In fact, I was telling Kath last night, golly, man, I can't believe that's been 17 years ago. But I was driving down 459 in my green Tundra. I love my green Tundra. And it's ironic, I still got a Tundra. But I was driving down the road, and all of a sudden they came over and interrupted on the radio and just started talking about, there's been a plane crash. At first it was like they just thought it was like a crash. I didn't know what was going on. And I'm like, wow. And then all of a sudden it comes back, and then it just, everything gets consumed on the radio that I'm listening to. And I'm just, in my mind, I'm going, man, this can't be real. It was very surreal. It was a very surreal moment. And so I listened on the way, and then I get to the office, and it was a very emotional day. It was an incredibly emotional day for everyone. It was a scary day. And we as a company, there was nothing done that day. We just sat and we watched TV and we listened, and nobody could believe what we were seeing. It was just heartbreaking and gut-wrenching, and just an incredibly emotional. And just remember thinking about my 3-year-old and my 2-year-old, and the world that they're going to grow up in, and it was unbelievable, and it impacted so many things in this country. And I remember, at that time I had a project in Las Vegas, I had a project in Kansas, and I remember they shut all flights down. You couldn't do anything, and we had some of my coworkers were stuck at places because we were a company. We were doing stuff all over the country, and so it was a very, very emotional time, I think, for everybody. And I think it's great to take some time today and pause and reflect on all the people who lost their lives, the impact that had on all their families, the children who lost moms and dads, and then all the unbelievably brave and heroic people that I saw that day. The old saying, there's one thing there's a difference between running away from a fire and running to it. And people that were running to it and through it, and just amazing heroism from so many people, and the policemen, the firemen, the first responders that lost their lives trying to save others. And I know there's a lot of people out there today whose lives were saved because of the sacrifice of others. And so that's what I think about when I think about it. And, I think about the kid with the red handkerchief. I think about his mom and dad, kid from Boston College. Crowder. Yeah, Crowder. And, in fact, I still got that red hanky. I carry it in my briefcase. It just stays in my briefcase. And think about his mom and dad, and, how this kid saved other people's lives. And so, you never know how you might respond in a situation like that. But incredibly difficult day for our country. You know, obviously I wasn't alive during Pearl Harbor, but I would imagine it was probably a very similar feeling for this country. And so hopefully it's not something that we ever have to deal with again. And it was a tough day, one I'll never forget.